So Lil Uzi Vert has been a very prominent figure in the 2010s, in specifically the pop rap field. I don't know if I want to quite call him like a trap rapper because I don't think that's quite accurate for what he does, because he's definitely more focused on expressing his voice in a way that makes it more like you're listening to pop music, to be honest. Especially in the 2010s as well, where hip hop's just taken a completely different direction. Lots of cloud rap influence coming in a lot of people's music. Emo trap's definitely become quite a prominent thing, emo hip hop, that kind of stuff. And I definitely think Uzi takes influence from all these different styles and has become one of the more prominent names within the genre, which I'm not entirely sure if I'm fully on board with him at the moment, to be honest, because I've not really enjoyed a full project from him. I've only really enjoyed the occasional single, but you guys may remember from my best songs of the decade video that I did, he did appear in that, so he's obviously got something in him to have a song that I consider to be that good, because otherwise I don't think that song would be anywhere near that list if I didn't think this guy had some kind of talent somewhere. Has he displayed it very well so far? I don't think so. I don't think he's really put out a good album yet, and that honestly continues with Eternal Atake, which has been long overdue, I think, for a lot of fans. They've been waiting for this for ages, similarly to Playboi Carti's Whole Lot of Red, where it just seems as though it's one of those albums that gets talked about and just seems to get delayed and delayed and delayed, but then it's like, is it even ever going to come? Who knows? But Eternal Atake did come. It came out of nowhere, and lots of people are loving this, but I'm just really not enjoying it whatsoever. And the thing is that it's not like I've disliked everything in this style up until this point. It's not that I'm just pushing Uzi into a corner of mumble rappers and whatever. Like, I don't think that would be fair, but I just think Uzi's personality, to be honest, personality is just so obnoxious. I mean, just read the bars. Just sit down and read the lyric sheet. I know he's not an artist that you're meant to consider to be a lyrical rapper or whatever, so why would you focus on the lyrics? But I think he puts so much emphasis on the rapping on so many of these tracks that you can't help but ignore it. Like the first few tracks, he's really going in on these tracks. He's really spitting over these beats, which I think is considered a bit rare for mumble rap or whatever, cloud rap, because generally it's not considered the real rap. So most of these artists tend to slur their words a little bit. They don't tend to really go in hard on beats the way that Uzi's doing here. It's usually like the technically skilled rappers that are considered the artists that do this in rap. So I think to start the album out like this with these tracks is actually quite brave and daring for Uzi, and I think it could have been good if he pulled it off, but I just think listening to his bars, they're just so weak. They get kind of boring as well. They're not really very interesting tracks. Like the track Pop just gets so tiring. Like he's just going so fast, and I'm just bored. I'm just so fucking bored. And then he starts saying random shit that makes no sense. It just kind of all like jumbles together. I'm just like, nah. And the thing is that every other rapper that does this gets mocked, and it's like, oh, no one cares if you can rap fast. We want to listen to what you've got to say. If you're rapping fast, then the words you're saying need to be interesting. Well, are they interesting? Of course they're not. It's Lil Uzi Vert. They're not interesting. Of course they're not. There's so many lines that stand out where he's talking about girls and stuff that are just really obnoxious to me. His approach to talking about girls in general, I think, across this album is just really poor, and gets really ugh. The track Pop as well, where every friggin' line ends in a ooh. Like, he can't just change it up. Every fucking word, it's like shoes, move, everything in the ooh sound. It's so boring. Why would you do this? Change it up. Stop rapping exactly the same on every line. It doesn't really help that his voice just gets really grating at times too. Like, I think there's auto-tune being put onto his voice, or it's some kind of effect that makes it just go in this like really weird pitch sometimes, and I just really find it just gross to listen to. I think there's a bit too much emphasis on the track standing out, you know, just throwing all your personality out there and hoping that it just ends up being likable. But for me, I just don't really find anything to enjoy about listening to this because it just gets very overbearing. And I'm going to be the first guy to say it as well. I don't think his hooks are even that good. A lot of people praise him for how catchy and melodic he is, but like he really isn't that good at it. Like I don't see how he stands out above anyone else in this field at all, or even lesser known artists in the underground. Like he really doesn't pull off a hook that well. I think Bigger Than Life is a good example as well, where like you get to the chorus, it honestly just feels like the track slows down and there's barely anything going on, and all you can really hear is his voice and this really straightforward mediocre beat. And then some of his lines that come out as well, where he's like freaking putting a dick in a girl and she's screaming take it out. I don't want to fucking hear that on a chorus. Like, this is not a sing-along catchy chorus. This is gross to listen to. How are you Uzi fans just gonna defend this? You probably will, but I don't know why. And it's constant as well. His bars are so shit on the album. Like the I'm Sorry track, where I think it's supposed to be an apology song, but like his way of selling an apology is really, really weak. The line where he says, I love you when you give brain, I swear that's only my memory, or some shit. It's like, Jesus Christ. And then later on where he mentions how he can turn gay girls straight. Alright, okay, that's the flex. You're better than me. I can't do that, so well done to you, Uzi. I guess if I'm thinking of positives though, the beat on the track Venetia is pretty good. I think the melody on that one's pretty nice and sticky. I guess it actually reminds me a little bit of something that could have appeared on the latest Young Nudie album, which if you remember my review for that, I was really positive about, and I thought the beats on that album were really strong, whereas on this album I don't really get that. I'm just hearing a lot of people say how, you know, like I've said already, how catchy the tracks are, how funny it all is, and nothing sounds like that to me on this album. I just feel like there's like no room to breathe on this album. It just hits you. It like starts at 100 and keeps going, and Uzi just never takes a moment to breathe. Like he's just constantly like, it's like an erratic like. I guess the only way it might work is taking it in small doses, like just going back to a few tracks every now and then. Because let's be honest, I think a lot of Uzi fans will end up doing that anyway, really, as months go by. It's 16 tracks an hour long, which can work sometimes, but I think in the case of this particular album, it gets really, really tiring, honestly, by the end. I just find the clothes are just completely like pointless by that point, because he's trying to be a bit more emotional on this track. He's being emotive, he's rapping a bit more of a somber tone, and I just can't take it seriously at all, man. Like there's just nothing I can connect to here at all. It's a cool idea to like take a track, one of your most famous tracks, and like flip it and change it into something new. I think that the idea of that's pretty cool. I can't fault him for that, but it's just a significantly worse version of what we've already got. So I will never think to listen to this instead of XO Total Life. Like I just wouldn't. So yeah, you know, I don't like this. Maybe you weren't surprised. You expected me not to like it, but honestly, I just struggle to find anything to praise for this thing. Typically, people praise Uzi for his personality and how he shines through on his tracks and how he brings something fresh to the table, I guess. That's fine if you like that about him, but I don't think that appeals to me personally, because it just annoys me more than it does pleases me. I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 10. Let me know what you think. Don't just, you know, leave a dislike and go away. I want to hear what you love about this, because it is getting a lot of praise, so I do think people are obviously seeing something that I'm not seeing, and I'd love to hear what you think about this album, what your thoughts are. Thank you for watching my review. Try not to get angry, at least be reasonable. Have a good day. Subscribe if you haven't already, and goodbye.